Richmond's midfield has been hot. Delidio, Cochin, Martin. And it's Sandlin's in the middle against Marich, and we're underway. Neither ruckman got a piece of it. Hill caught, Tuck flicks it out to Boer. Tuck stole it back from him. Tuck also having a very good year. Shane Tuck, third in the AFL for handballs in 2012, having a big impact.
Johnson already loose behind the ball for Freo.
The clearance from Hill. Pavlich up from 3 deep, couldn't mark it. Morris, Crumbs, Hurley. And here's this handball game. The free man Newman heads wide. Nahas. Cochin working hard. Rewarded. Crowd already finding some voice. Jackson on the overlap. So tagging Hill, but gets a possession of his own bat. Back to Cochin. Hurley. Rain starting to tumble again. Just as we thought we might get a fine hour or two.
No, I don't think so.
Now Will Rewald jump. Pushed under it, played for the free, didn't get it. Jackson caught. Flicks it out. Barlow flicks it on. Hill couldn't make something of it, neither could Cochin. McPhee back into the lineup this week. Gave it to Sandlin's, not a big handball target man. Tuck pumps it back. Rewald's running back. He got a hand to it. Off the deck. Edwards from the goal line.
Well, one thing you know that you get with Shane Tuck is when he gets the ball, he kicks it long. He doesn't muck around. He doesn't try to finesse. He plays to his strengths. He's got a good leg. He actually could have run another couple of steps and perhaps got himself in range, but he just gets it down there quickly, promotes a one-on-one contest. Now, Jack Riewoldt didn't quite take the mark, but he certainly had the best position in that one-on-one battle, and that allowed him to at least parry the ball. And Shane Edwards just jumps on as we see Daniel Jackson doing some work off the ball.
Plays his 100th game in a couple of weeks. Shane Edwards, he's been a survivor.
It's interesting, we saw Jack Riewoldt trying to take a one-handed mark. He played particularly well a couple of weeks ago against the Hawks in wet conditions, and he almost marked it like a dry ball. He can soften his hands.
Martin pounces, tried to slip it to Vickery, and cut off by Crowley, who hurt himself in the process.
He's not going to Cochin, is he? Crowley started in defence there.
Yeah, find out who he's picking up there. Kick not so good. Martin slaps it down. Greg back to Martin. Holding free kick. Okay, so if that was in the process after he disposed of it, Greg, that should have been 50 downfield, but must have been as he disposed of it. And he heads in the Riewoldt direction again. Couldn't get a run at it. Vickery front spot. He might get a free. No, against Vickery. So Zach Dawson gets an early one. McFarlane. Mundy.
At the moment, Crowley looks like he's going to Delidio, not Cochin.
That's right.
McPhee gives the handball out. De Boer back to McPhee. Back from a calf injury, been out for a couple of weeks. Sandlin's drops the mark he should have taken. Cochin couldn't get a kick away.
Great tackle.
Umpire said he got a toe on it, so it was play on. Sandlin's, it was a long way down there, but he got there. Subin also back into the lineup this week. It's a little hotter than waffle footy, and he found that quickly. Nahas. Ellis. McFarlane sees the boundary line, looks around, saw Riewoldt.
Well, Crowley to Delidio is an interesting call, because Cochin is a ball winner. It should be suited by these conditions with the stoppages and the wet weather.
Sandlin's, he knocked that down to Riewoldt, and he kicks the goal. He gifted Riewoldt a goal with a palm straight to him.
It was terrific play from the stoppage, but you've got to question Luke McFarlane. What was he thinking, allowing Jack Riewoldt just to run past and get goal side? And then he had his back to the football, so he's neither blocking his forward from getting goal side of him or tracking the footy. That's fraught with danger, and it's cost him a goal. Terrific snap from Jack Riewoldt, but you'd say some poor defensive work.
I think the interesting thing now, Jason, too, is that Freo have only got 4 forwards to starting, so they've obviously pushed one up and they're playing one behind the play as well. So they're obviously playing very defensively.
There's Michael Johnson loose in defence at the moment.
Griffin now into the ruck for Fremantle, back into the lineup as well this week. Hill, a clearance. Pavlich coming hard at half forward. Got there on the bounce. Caught by Rance. Splendid tackle and rewarded.
He's improved, hasn't he, Alex Rance? Yeah. Not only does he restrict the opposition, but he gets plenty of the ball. He's averaging 20 disposals for a full-back.
Morris, another player they've recruited that's played every game this year, to D. Back to Morris at the 1-2 of Batchelor. Extracts a kick to wobbly one. Might be coming back. Dawson. Ibbotson. Long pump inside 50. Hoping for Pavlich again. That's a strong use of the body.
And we saw Steve Morris run through the back. He's trying to run and create play, but ended up just kicking the ball off the boot. And as Rocket said, when you've got one or two blokes loose down back, you've got to use the ball and you've got to hit a target. Otherwise, you're going to turn it over and go straight down the other end and present a scoring opportunity, especially if Pav can take good marks like that.
He's kicked 14 goals, 11 this year. But this is a massive kick for his confidence, for Fremantle's confidence away from home. And he nails it. Big moment that, and he was equal to it.
Yeah, I think one of the key aspects for Freo is you've got to get in the game early. And if they just concede 2 or 3 early goals and all of a sudden you're chasing, you're playing a defensive brand of footy, getting numbers behind the ball to stop the flow, it makes it virtually impossible to start scoring at the other end and get yourself back in the contest. So when those half opportunities come, and that's all it was, because he was 1 against 2 effectively, Matty Pavlich, to make something out of that enormous from the Freo perspective.
Rocket, is that where Damien Hardwick said they need to be patient coming out of defence? Should they still run and still try and use the ball, or they got to slow it down on occasions?
Oh, I think they've got to slow it down on occasions. There's no doubt about that. I think there were spare players because he just chipped that around and created some more space.
You saw there 1 inside 50 for Fremantle for 1 goal. Richmond's had 5 inside 50s. Hooley hands it off to Martin and he gives them another inside 50. Rewald's coming hard. He's up. Got a hand on it. Made a contest. Cochin, brilliant crumb. Kicked around the body, but not far enough. Mark to Ibbotson, back pocket.
Having a spell forward at the moment, Trent Cochin, and Adam McPhee's got the job when he's in the forward 50.
I don't think we can undersell the recruit of Steve Morris. He's been able to take that awkward type player for Richmond that have had real trouble with in the past. He's got Ballantyne today. He's taken Rioli already this year. That's the sort of player that's really hurt Richmond in an offensive sense in the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, he's played every game this year. Steve Morris is a mature age recruit, too old for an AB Rising Star nomination. Conker slips a handball out. Deledio back to full forward. Mazungu held it long enough.
One of the best and fairest at West Adelaide last year, Steve Morris.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, Tuck had the same kind of route. Went to West Adelaide to hone his skills and has now become a very good player. Outer side, Mundy. Broughton looks up. It's got Ballantyne. His first touch of the afternoon works. Main. And he is 100% this year from set shots. This will test him from 50.
Not sure he was the intended target there.
I'm trying to give Ballantyne some credit.
I reckon he was looking for De Boer and it just came off the instep of the boot a little bit. You see, quickly he looks up and sees a player, but that skews off the inside of the boot and finds Main.
Might have been right, Jace.
Again, though, super important kick. If he can kick this, well, it's a dream start.
I think he's kicked 16 straight this year from set shots.
We've guaranteed he won't then, haven't we?
Oh, sorry.
From 50. Strikes it poorly.
Jace.
And, well, that was thumped through. That might not count on his stats.
It's a rush behind.
Yeah. And that's how stats can be deceptive sometimes.
I think an interesting thing, Jason, up the other end of the ground at that last boundary throw-in, the intended target was Jack Riewoldt again. So maybe he's the target that's going into the stoppages to take McFarlane into the stoppages.
Yeah, good move.
Tuck to Conker, the tuck. Hurley, Nas. Open forward line, Vickery on the march. Got it on 50. He's got Riewoldt running hard. He ran hard to the pocket and he was rewarded. And he will line up for goal number 2.
Well, that's interesting. I don't know how the confusion came there, but McFarlane had to go up and put pressure on Nahas when he got the ball. So there was a changeover of responsibilities, and It didn't quite work from a Freo perspective. They've allowed Revolt to run back hard towards goal, again getting goal side of the defenders.
Gee, Hardwick could be wrapped at the moment. 79% efficient with disposal in these conditions is outstanding.
14 goals in the last 2 weeks, Jack Revolt. 8 and 6 in the last 2 outings. This is for number 2. He sprays it. Behind as we head downstairs, David King.
Some concern down here with Aaron Sandlands. He's been taken down the players' race to be assessed by the medical staff. He's been off for 2 to 3 minutes now, Dwayne. Not great signs for Fremantle.
Yes, was missed with knee injury this year as well, so we'll keep an eye on that. Johnson straight down the middle. Griffin's now the man. He couldn't mark that. Grigg, the crumb. Vickery backs back. She held that for long enough for mine. An interesting year for Ty Vickery. He's a whipping boy of sorts. 22 years of age now. It's his 4th season on the list after being a pick 8. And Kevin Sheedy always says that you've got to allow an apprenticeship, but the apprenticeship for a footballer is up around the 50-game mark. And this is game number 54 for Ty Vickery. So a huge kick for his confidence as well. That's what he has ahead of him. And he hit that sweep. That was never in doubt.
Yeah, he does need to stand up. He's got another chance in the Richmond side. He's taking his 2nd grab today, and it is a day that could suit him. That it is wet, but there could be some long kicks coming in. So if he can stand up like he did there, take a good overhead grab, go back and kick a goal, it's exactly what they need. They've had plenty of inside 50s early in this game, 8-2, and now got their 3rd goal. Richmond, they'd be wrapped with this start.
Bit of concern down here, Dwayne. Sandlands has been substituted out of the game.
God.
Crozier in, Sandlands out. He was shaking the head, upset, visibly upset about what's happened here. I think there's some sort of long-term damage here.
Okay, we'll find out if it is associated with the knee that caused him to miss a couple, but that is a massive shake-up for Fremantle's fortunes. Mad scramble centre half forward for Fremantle. Ballantyne jumped in underneath them all.
That Stephen Hill looks as though he's hurt himself. He's coming off the ground now. He's got a bad limp. And Matt De Boer has gone to Cochin as a tag in the midfield.
Flick down to Hurley. Hands it back, Newman. Mazunga attacked it well. Brought Pavlich. And this will roll and bounce and tumble and rolls its way through. Boy, did they need that.
That positioning, everyone loves to have a spare man in defence, or the +1 as we call it, and especially the stoppage, and that Richmond did, but he just positioned himself very poorly as far as guarding non-dangerous ground.
Griffiths.
Griffiths, like he needed to be back near the goal square so he could impact the stoppage if a player came out, at the same time be able to stop a ball like that.
Yeah, you got to be in or out, don't you?
Yeah.
Right out, boys. Lock out the circle.
2 goals for Matthew Pavlich. Voices you're hearing this afternoon as part of our coverage. Jason Dunstall, 1,254 goals worth. Mark Rashuda, the Brownlow medalist. David King, 2-time premiership star. And Rodney Eade, former Sydney and Bulldogs coach, and now the coach of the coaches with Collingwood. Great to have them as part of the coverage this afternoon. And there is Hill on the bench for Fremantle, with Sandlands already subbed out of this game. Mundy goes hard. De Boer, who always goes hard. Play on advantage. McPhee slides it in the main direction. Couldn't get anywhere near him in the end. Griffiths. Martin. Marrick. Now to the wing. Off some hands. Oh, they went low too, and he went with his knee then. Jackson went in knees first. They would look at that. The umpire saw it. That was a free kick under the new rule. The ball will take it.
Although wet conditions are conducive to sliding a little bit more, isn't it? So it's something that you do have to take into consideration in these conditions.
They can't afford to lose another player now, Fremantle. Mundy.
They just might be, Dwayne. At this stage, Stephen Hill's gone downstairs into the players' race again. Got problems with that left ankle, which is his kicking leg, clearly. So there's a massive concern down here. They may just be down to 2 rotations on the bench.
Subin got it from McFarlane to Barlow. Wide. Pavlich, and why wouldn't you? He's too far out to score. They're hanging in here, Fremantle.
Mundy might have to go down and give him something.
Just pops it, hoping for Ballantyne. Gets another crack at it. Mzungu almost stole that from him. Main flicks it over the top. Crichton with the shot. Amazing goal, Jesse Crichton.
With the wet ball, even though they've got an extra man in defence, Richmond look really vulnerable, don't they? Especially the ball hits the deck. Some players have fumbled it, double grabbed there in this situation. The ball was bouncing around. And the Fremantle have done extremely well to kick 3 goals. They've done extremely well, and they're given a lot of confidence at the moment.
Well, they've had 4 scoring shots from 5 inside 50, so that backs up exactly what you're saying, Rocket.
Same again, guys. Thanks, Ryan.
Third season on the list for Jesse Crichton. Big opportunity now to establish himself, and it's all square at the MCG. Fremantle might be down a man, they might be down 2, but they're in this contest. Mundy runs down Hurley. Richmond fans wanted a free.
Quite extraordinary, that last centre bounce. Rodney Eade said before, Freo going with 4 forwards. Richmond had 7 defenders. There's 3 extras behind the footy.
Yeah, well, that means they're actually sending someone down back with the other 6.
Mundy. High kick, tough kick to be grabbing. It's a great grab, Batchelor. Held his ground. D. Newman.
That's one of the men they want kicking the footy.
Nas, and he hits him lace out. Rewalt leaves short, is ignored. He goes to Vickery pocket. It's too wide. Light rain again here as Dawson takes it back pocket.
Certainly don't need to be perfect going inside 50 in the conditions today. Put it to the hot spot, put the defenders under pressure.
Ivan knocked it down. Johnson to the wing. Rance out there with Pavlich. Newman. D, short pass. Marek over the top. Greek. A wobbly ball inside 50. Vickery. Dawson was front spot. Rewald takes possession, gives to Vickery. Martin, slippery ball through his hands. Vickery again to centre half forward. Tuck lurking from 50. Gets plenty of shoe on it, but it's wide. Knocked away from Edwards. Ball in.
It's really coming down here now, Jason. Some heavy rain falling at the MCG now. This will make for a very ugly, contested game. It's exactly what Ross Lyon is looking for.
Yeah, and it also means you've got to adapt the way you're playing. Play the percentages, just keep the ball going forwards. You don't want to be feeding too many out the back.
Ballantyne playing in front. Got on the end of Ibbetson's clearance kick.
Turnover, finessing too much.
Hurley gives it up to Cotchin. Another inside 50 for the Tigers, but Johnson mops that up with ease. Subban asked to go back to the waffle and get some possessions, and he did that with Claremont. Played his way back into this lineup this afternoon. Marek, he's got no one to really go against him there.
Well, that's poor by Jonathan Griffin. He's got to be involved in the aerial contest there.
Delidio long. Edwards stays down and gave the free away. McFarlane, back pocket. Not 15. Tough call. Johnson gets the kick away in a hurry. McPhee slaps it outside. Defensive 50. Newman tracked down by Barlow. Took Newman and the ball to the boundary.
Good news for Fremantle down here. Stephen Hill is doing some strides, some run-throughs, so clearly he's had some sort of injection into that left ankle.
Well, they're going to feel the pinch in the ruck. Griffin's got to have more of an impact. He was 5-1 up in the hit-outs before he got subbed out, Sandlands, but it's been all Marich since he's gone off.
Rewalt attacked that contest, took a few down. Ibbetson to McPhee, stolen back by Edwards, gives it up to Martin. Standing start. They knew where they were. They knew exactly where they were.
A great snap, and Rewalt's hobbling off here. He looks like he's might have an ankle or something like that. He can't put weight on the leg here as we see him
just as he's about to jump. I think he landed. I think he
grab. He doesn't grab anything, but
I think it was an ankle. I think he, as he started to take off, I think he might have trod on foot. Yeah, it's on the foot of Johnson.
He rolled the ankle. This has been just a disastrous first quarter for all players from an injury perspective. We've already had Sandlin subbed out. Hill's had to come off and perhaps have an injection down in the rooms to get him back going. Now we've got Jack Riewoldt limping off with what looks like a rolled ankle.
Clearance to Tuck. Driving rain now at the MCG. Johnson and McPhee attacked it with a fist. Nahas manhandled by Subin. Didn't give a free away. Did it well enough. And it's on behind play. Edwards, Ibbotson.
So you've got Griffin v Marriage. Both players were ruckman at Adelaide, now at different clubs.
Yes, so they know each other's game extremely well. Cochin from a stand start as well. It's bending, but not enough. They were vying for the one spot at Adelaide, essentially, weren't they, Roo, for a while?
Yeah, they were. And well, even Jonathan Griffin now, I think, hasn't been getting much of an opportunity at Freo, but this is his chance to really stand up and try and at least get into second spot with Zach Clark out of the side as well.
Yeah, drop Zach Clark this week. Johnson wide. Here is that Griffin-Marriage battle. Crichton flicks it to McPhee. Neal. De Boer. Backing back Morris. Got hands on it. Couldn't take possession. Rance went off the deck a little dangerously. Hurley elected not to take possession. Ellis. Marriage took them on and got a kick away at least. McPhee buffeted it off it. Pierced. Stolen back again by Neal. Rolls one to Mundy. Ugly, but they're fighting hard, the Dockers. Main slips it up just in time. Crozier, the sub now on. Matthew Pavlich running back. Rance with him. It's all about the kind bounce. It was unkind. It was horrendous. It was the Richmond end, that bounce. The crowd had something to do with it. And now the Tigers on the rebound. Grigg.
Yeah, that was unlucky. It could either have sat up, it could have just been there for him to toe off the ground, but it went sideways. Just perhaps needed to take a slower step to prepare himself.
I think potentially that was a perfect example. Richmond had got a spare player that he needed to guard that dangerous space. That was the dangerous space, and it got out over the back.
De Boer puts it up, hoping for Matthew Pavlich. Rance half dragged him down. Umpire said it was played for. Marrick couldn't make something of that for the Tigers, but Grigg breaks free, having an outstanding year. Straight through Martin. Ball in.
It's interesting when you see players go to the ground. Matty Pavlich just didn't get the bounce. You could see it go sideways there, but then we had a good contest between the two of them after that. I reckon Pavlich might have been half dragging Rance down from in front.
Griffin beats Marriage, but is wrapped up and dragged down by Cochin. No prior opportunity, and he didn't take it out of the ruck as a ruckman that time.
Richmond haven't been great at tackling in the last few weeks, but 20-12 today in these conditions is a good effort so far.
De Boer bored his way through and gets himself a free. Tossed after he disposed of it.
Could have been 52. The ball was sent back by Asher Hurley.
In fact, it should have been, really. Not enough Fremantle crowd here to roar for it. De Boer sits it up. And front spot deep.
Couldn't blame him for travelling over for these conditions, though, Dwayne.
Thick and thin, they say, Root. Delidio. But it's been an unkind venue. They've lost their last 10 games here, Fremantle.
Doesn't get much thinner than this.
No, unkind. But then again, you have to win here to win a premiership.
He's on Marriage. In good form, isn't he?
To Grigg. He says go long time. And he puts it long for time. McFarlane, third man up. Oh, he might have missed it. He just got a knuckle on it. David King downstairs.
Still some concern on the bench down here for Jack Riewoldt. He's still in the medical rooms just down the race here. Hasn't been sighted back up here. That right ankle problem. Just wondering how bad it is at this stage.
So if you've joined us late, Riewoldt off with an ankle problem and Sandlin's out of the game. Not cleared. Grigg. His shot across the face.
Should he have straightened up there, Rocket?
Oh, there's no doubt he had a couple more steps as well to actually kick through the ball. Kicked off one step and kicked around his body.
Griffin front spot. Crichton got it out to Neil. In the thick of it again. Crichton hacks it clear. Vickery beats Dawson but couldn't shrug him. Grigg, same spot. Hands it off, hoping for Conker. Conker let a tackle. Broughton didn't have it. Free kick.
Grigg's already had 9 touches, boys, getting plenty of the ball already. 5 inside 50s as well, so he's getting it in the right patch of the ground.
Valentine and Hurley head-to-head. Ball beats them out of play.
Just watching Stephen Hill run, and I think he's showing a bit of courage, but he's very much hampered by that injury. If it's an ankle, he's really carrying it.
De Boer, the one shining light for Fremantle in this opening term, as you saw possession-wise, from the flick down. Hill. So back into the thick of it. Conker takes it to the line. Both these teams coming into this game 5 wins and 5 losses. And at the end of this game, it'll be the exact halfway point of the season for these two. It'll be 11 games down, 11 games to come. This is a massive game for both. Cotchin to half forward. Johnson flicks it away from Jackson. Keeps his feet. Someone else has done an ankle. Nahas, pocket. Spent that before he'd earned it. Plays for the high free and he milked it. Oh, he played on. He took the half step. He kind of took a netball step. He took it but didn't take it. And he nails the goal regardless.
Well, that's a terrific finish off one step. I think that was always going to be his intention. But I think the umpire took a little bit of time away from him. Here he is chasing the loose ball. He just turns around. Look, you can't say he's ducking the head because he's down actually trying to pick up the footy. That was just a sloppy tackle. He took the half step. That prompted the play on call. But then he was good enough to snap it off one step. That is a ripper with the wet pill.
Thanks, boys. Sock out the circle, Ruckman. Ruckman only right out, Tucky, quick. Go on, man.
Biggest lead of the game for either side. 13 points right now. In the shadows of quarter time. The ball up. 2.5 minutes left, as you can see, to quarter time. Crowley wouldn't have been paid. Dawson to Subin. Tough ball to gather. Crozier. He looked good in game 1. This is game 2 for him. It's the second game for the former Victorian, playing on the MCG for the first time. Hayden Crozier. Ellis shut down. Caught by Ballantyne. And here is Crozier on cue. To Main. To Ballantyne. To Mzungu. Back again to Main. A sidestep. Mzungu didn't know exactly what Main was planning to do. Half tackle on Newman. Morris. Under some pressure now. Griffiths, little fumble. Flicks it back. Ellis, run down. Could have been ball. Ballantyne jumped on. Could have been back. It is back. Free kick.
A little bit guilty of overusing the footy there in the conditions, Richmond. Sometimes a quick kick forward when it's wet like this is the most effective thing than trying to maintain possession like you do in dry footy. Yeah,
there's no doubt about that. And there's a couple of Richmond players free forward of the ball as well. So a quick kick forward. Either they mark it, hits the deck. If it doesn't, it hits the deck and skids forward.
To the booze. Rosline has tried to make Hayden Ballantyne a midfielder this year, but he's at his most potent when he's a goal kicking forward, and he misses that with a horrendous kick in difficult conditions, it must be said.
Yeah, I don't know that we're going to see too many set shots converted from around the 50-metre arc today. It'll take an exceptional kick.
Outside 50 tuck, McCrum, Ellis. Robertson, front spot.
Good catch. Flatten the hands.
Shane, right out, Shane.
Barlow. McFarlane. 42 seconds and counting to Johnson. 13 points the margin.
Hold Daniel now, hold.
Broughton.
See the rain coming in sideways there on the shot. Tough conditions, very tough to chip it around.
Pearce. So one last chance at a late score for Fremantle, but not with that kick. Tuck stood his ground. Have the Tigers got time? 18 seconds left. Rance to Martin. Down the middle. Bumped on the kick. Nahas came hard. He really wanted to be left behind. McPhee to Neil. And in a mark inside 50. Pavlich is the man. Got it! On the buzzer.
Oh, that hurts. That would drive Damien Hardwick. Look at him. He had the head down. I reckon he would have probably let a couple of choice words go there.
A couple of expletives.
Nothing you haven't done before, Rocket.
No, I must admit that, Jason. But it was interesting. Rance, who, as Rui said earlier, has improved so much this year. But in a one-on-one contest, a couple of times, he's just got lost in transit, hasn't he? Lost when the ball's in the air, loses sight of the ball. He's looking for Pavlich to take the body, but he just can't find it.
The mood at quarter time rests on this kick for both teams, for the crowd, and that's for 3. The captain delivers. 3 goals to Matthew Pavlich, and the Dockers well and truly in this one at quarter time. Richmond 5-2 32, Fremantle 4-1 25.